What if I told you a painting of a Parisian bar, yes, a bar, could rival the twists of your favourite psychological thriller? Welcome to Édouard Manet's A Bar at the Folies-Bergere, a masterpiece that looks like a glitzy night out but feels like the quiet unravelling of a mystery. Picture this: dazzling chandeliers, bottles of champagne, and a barmaid with a gaze so haunting it might just follow you home. But wait, look closer. Something's not adding up. Her reflection in the mirror isn't where it's supposed to be. The man she's talking to? Nowhere to be seen. And why does her expression scream, "I'm here, but not really"? Is this just a painting of nightlife? Or is Manet playing tricks on us, blurring the lines between reality and illusion? And those oranges? What's the deal with them? Are they innocent cocktail garnishes or symbols of something deeper? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you won't just understand this painting. You'll feel like you've cracked a code. Plus, we'll keep it fun, because who says art history can't have a splash of humour? Let's dive in. The scene is set at the Folies-Bergere, one of the most famous music halls in Paris during the late 19th century. Picture a lively room filled with laughter, clinking glasses, and the hum of conversation. But at the centre of this bustling atmosphere, there's a quiet, almost haunting figure, the barmaid. She stands behind a marble counter, surrounded by an assortment of wine bottles, beer glasses, and neatly arranged oranges. Her black dress and jewellery subtly echo the objects around her, as if she's part of the decor. But it's her expression that stops us in our tracks. Her gaze is unfocused, her posture stiff, her hands gripping the counter as though it's the only thing anchoring her in this chaotic space. Is she tired, sad, deep in thought, or is she just really over her shift? Let's not forget the giant mirror behind her. It reflects the lively crowd, couples laughing, people chatting, a chandelier glittering overhead. But something's off. Her reflection shows her leaning forward, engaged in conversation with a man who's uncomfortably close. Yet when we look directly at her, she's standing upright, disconnected. Is this the same woman? And where is this man standing anyway? Is he in front of her? Or are we supposed to be him? This is where the painting becomes less about what we see and more about what we feel. It's a puzzle, a challenge to our perception, and a subtle reminder that what we see isn't always what's real. To understand this painting, you need to know a bit about the Folies-Bergere itself. This wasn't just a music hall, it was a playground for the Parisian elite. It offered everything from ballet and acrobatics to less respectable forms of entertainment, including the discreet services of its barmaids, who were known to sell more than just drinks. As writer Guy de Maupassant put it, they were vendors of drink and love. The woman in the painting is Suzanne, a real barmaid who posed for Manet. She leans on the counter, surrounded by the trappings of her world, wine bottles, glasses, and a small bouquet of flowers. These items, along with her elegant yet sombre demeanour, blur the line between her role as a worker and her identity as a person. Is she part of the scene or just another object on display? Manet's choice to depict Suzanne in this way reflects his fascination with the contradictions of modern life. The Folies-Bergere was a place of glamour and excitement, but also one of isolation and commodification. Suzanne, like the oranges and bottles, becomes part of the spectacle, yet her ambiguous expression suggests she's aware of her objectification. Now, let's talk about that mirror. It's not just a reflective surface, it's the key to the painting's mystery. The mirror shows us what Suzanne sees, a lively, glittering room full of people, but it also shows us something that doesn't quite add up: her interaction with the man. The perspective is skewed, the angles don't line up, and her reflection seems almost like a different version of herself. This isn't a mistake. Manet was known for playing with perspective and challenging the viewer's expectations. Art scholars have debated for years whether the inaccuracies in the mirror were intentional or accidental. But let's be real. Do you really think Manet, one of the most meticulous painters of his time, just happened to mess up? It's more likely that he wanted us to question what we see. the mirror becomes a metaphor for the duality of existence, the public versus the private, the surface versus the soul. Suzanne's reflection isn't just a physical image, it's a representation of her emotional and social reality. She's both present and absent, seen and unseen, human and object. Manet wasn't just painting pretty pictures, he was making bold statements about society. His work often challenged the traditional roles and expectations of women, especially in the bourgeois culture of 19th century Paris. Take, for example, his earlier works like Olympia and Luncheon on the Grass. These paintings caused scandals for their unapologetic depictions of real women, flaws and all. In A Bar at the Folies-Bergere, he continues this tradition by presenting Suzanne not as an idealized figure, but as a complex, multifaceted individual. Her detached expression and ambiguous posture force us to confront her humanity, even as she's surrounded by symbols of consumption and excess. Critics have often accused Manet of rushing to finish this painting, citing its errors in perspective as evidence. But X-ray studies of the canvas reveal a different story. Manet made several adjustments to the composition, moving Suzanne's reflection and changing the angle of the bar to create a more dynamic and engaging image. Why would he do this? Because he wasn't just painting a scene, he was crafting an experience. By altering reality, he draws our attention to Suzanne's face, her expression, and the emotions hidden beneath the surface. It's a subtle but powerful technique that makes the painting feel alive, almost cinematic. So, what's the takeaway from A Bar at the Folies-Bergere? Is it a critique of modern society, a meditation on isolation, a clever play on perspective and perception? The beauty of this painting is that it can be all of these things, and more. Manet invites us to see Suzanne not just as a barmaid, but as a symbol of the human condition. She's surrounded by people yet profoundly alone, caught between her role as an object of consumption and her identity as a person. Her reflection in the mirror reminds us that our own perceptions are often flawed, shaped by context and bias. When you look at A Bar at the Folies-Bergere, what do you see? Is Suzanne a victim of her circumstances or a silent observer of the world around her? What do you think Manet was trying to say about society, identity, and perception? Let's keep the conversation going. Share your thoughts in the comments. And if there's another painting or artist you'd like me to cover, let me know. Whether it's a masterpiece of mystery, a historical drama, or just plain artistic genius, I'm here for it. Your comment might even inspire the next video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more deep dives into the fascinating world of art history. Until next time, keep exploring the stories behind the canvas, because art always has more to say than meets the eye.